Welcome to another daily tutorial with the Paintology drawing app for Android users and available on the Play Store. So this was one of the daily drawings we did yesterday. This was more creative than usual. You might have seen it, and it was done in a painterly manner with the likes of Bob Ross, referring to Bob Ross as he painted, his love for painting, and you could feel it in his passion, and it's one of the great art series of our time. So this in digital, you can pretty much do the same here. As you can see, I've painted this from a reference image, first of all, using block coloring. This is very easy to do. You don't really need any drawing experience for that. And then I went ahead and started using the same, this line tool, and adjusted the density to bring out some more blending effects, right? This is really the key to creating impressive, realistic drawings, right? So this changes the brush size, and your phone is not a small device for drawing, despite what people say. That's because they don't know what the tools that are available, like zoom and rotate. So don't listen to all these people who haven't done it before and they claim to know what they're talking about. So let me do a quick intro. First of all, you want to bookmark paintology.com and then go to the daily step-by-step video tutorials, and then you'll come to this page, and here you'll see that today's date, 7th, and we're going to draw a Snow White horse. Well, it's not quite Snow White, but just sounds good. And then we get the reference image for that. Here's the reference image. I'm going to download it. Do a long press, and then the menu will come up, yeah? And then you'll see that part 1, Paintology, is is now currently ongoing with the 8 GMT. This is the stream that I'm currently on. And then I will hop onto the part 2, which I complete the drawing on Produce channel, 9 GMT. We have about 10-15 minutes break before we do that. And so that's what we will be doing. And then you can see all the lists that I've done so far. You can see here, it's a drawing I did here of famous old grandmaster. Yeah, this goes all the way back. It's a long list, so it should keep you entertained for quite a while. Then the other bookmark you want to do is paintology.quora.com. Please do follow me there. Just keep in mind, everything is free. There's nothing paid. I don't think there is any person who's an art teacher is offering free live tutorials on a daily basis, and over 150 of them so far. So it's all free, but eventually I will have to start putting bread and butter on the table instead of, going through my life savings and offering you this method of drawing. So this method of drawing, obviously, I'm very passionate about. And how is it different? Well, okay, this is paintology.quora.com, and before I go into it, the other one is the Google Classroom. This is where you learn all the art techniques. So what is different about Paintology? It teaches you art techniques. It's not designed to offer you just another drawing tool. If you've come looking for another drawing tool with the same tools, you are not going anywhere. You're not learning anything new. You basically want to do what stay in your comfort zone and stay there for a long time. If you want to really improve, to move out of your comfort zone and do things that have never been shown before to you. And so, which means you come with an open mind as well. If you don't come with an open mind, then you'll just remain stuck. You'll feel that you've reached the pinnacle of your success, which is potentially a majority of people, which is pretty mediocre because they don't they don't go deep enough. And there's understandable why some people do it because they don't have the time. And for a long time, my painting and drawing remained dormant, you know, several decades because I was good as a kid. And it's a shame because the drawing and painting can bring about so many benefits apart from the high reward of having completed a creation. Yeah. So this will teach you, ground you in techniques. So I don't talk about tools. You'll find any online digital course will will talk 2-3 minutes on the fundamentals of art, and then dive straight into the app and all its tools. That is not what art techniques are, and I'll tell you why. If you look at your favorite YouTubers, art YouTubers, they have same brush, same pencil, same everything, but yet they can create stunning pieces of art, and you're wondering why. That's not based on tools, okay? Keep that in mind. Because you have the same tools, it's because they have developed techniques, and these are the techniques I will be showing you, and I have shown you over the course of the last 3-4 months. And in fact, these techniques are not hidden or some magical thing that appears to these great artists who pluck it from thin air. It's not like that at all. They understand their tools more than you do. You might pick up a pencil and just make a mark. They understand how the properties of the pencil work, how it's gentle, light, pressure, shade, everything. Light pressure slanting the pencils, using their fingers to make the strokes and all that. So that's what artists, those good artists, separated from the beginners who tend to bunch up at the bottom and do not go anywhere beyond. And if you rely on the digital tools to take you there, you are becoming a servant to the tools and not a master of it. All these artists are a master of their tools. Their tools is a means to get to the end. And that's why my artwork never has can it be distinguished as digital artwork, because I do it by hand and I apply my art techniques, and by doing it by hand I'm multiple times faster than any other digital artist. If you ask me to produce the same thing, I will produce something way faster than they will, and that's because of the techniques I have learned. So let me show you a few other stuff. Here's the phone that I use for this for the examples of drawing and painting. As you can see, Samsung phone. This is the Mona Lisa I drew on the phone. This is one of the examples. You'll find it in the list of live streams. And then I have all these drawings that I've done, realistic, all on the phone. And just a few examples of what you can do. It's just unbelievable. Most of them are freehand. I'm not using the method I'm going to show you, which is to use a trace bar to learn these techniques. And this is really fundamental. Don't listen to all these people who don't know what they're talking about, saying it's cheating using trace bar. Well, you haven't acquired 0.1% of the skills, so why shouldn't you use it? You want to acquire these skills and then run with it. That's the only reason I can draw with such realism is this one. No, no trace bar, but I can draw these. That's because I've acquired the skills. I won't be able to draw this from the beginning like these foolish people who come here and say, if you want to break the 100-meter record, this is the advice they'll give you. If you want to break the 100-meter record, meet me at the track, and then they meet you at 8 a.m. and then, all right, I'll be back 5 p.m. Just keep going up and down this track, okay? Yeah, as many times as you can. That's the kind of advice they're going to give you. It's pretty basic, rudimentary, with no bearing on the actual skill that's behind drawing and painting. Okay, so keep that in mind, okay? This is the one done on my Samsung. I call it the world's fastest digital photorealistic drawing because it took me just over 2 hours to complete this drawing. And I can guarantee that nobody can match my speed for this. And I don't even go fast in this. And I use no, this was just following a reference on another reference image on another device. I was looking at an image photo and then I drew this. So, I can challenge you. And I'd love a challenge because I seem to be the only one who's capable of drawing this way. But you're here so you can learn. So let me show you. So we're back to the drawing now. So we're going to open up our Paintology app. And then this is the My Painting section. This is where I say, you can see I've got 575 images. Most of them are saved images, the ones I saved. This is one I did the day before. I really like this drawing. Reminded me of David Hockney's paintings. Very lovely, isn't it? You can feel the essence of the cloud, the snow, the glistening bushes. They're covered up by ice on the front here, the path. So this, I went through that. You'll find this in the two-part, and we'll be able to make this drawing, okay? And all the reference images are given. There's lots of examples that I've done. Here's one with, I did some of the old grandmasters. This was painted, I captured the essence of this James Whistler, very famous artist, American, and he traveled to Europe a lot. So this was called Thames Nights. So you can see by the boats the era that this was, yeah. Okay, just that, that's why art is so recognized throughout the world. And it's a skill to have. But don't think the skill is where you look at it, very one-sided perhaps, or not really understanding the techniques. Techniques have been very difficult to put into traditional. Can you imagine the same art acrylic painting here that been offered in 2 hours, offered by people how to do it quickly? They maybe show it, but very rapidly, but it wouldn't be that good in to do the acrylic painting, realistic painting. It may be the one subject, perhaps something they rush through it because they have to pick up tones, and I'm going to show you. Tones are the most important art techniques to acquire, and if you want to be a good artist. So let's go to when you come to this homepage. This is the homepage. Don't go straight to draw and then start doodling. There's a bunch of tutorials, about almost 1,000. Even the number says 883. There's 1,000 tutorials you can go through. Paint by Numbers is one right at the top, which you should do. Loads of them. Look at this one. This is a baby one. Let's do that. Just to show you. Look, pick the colors. Pick a big brush. And then rotate it and then just go around. What is this doing? This is showing you how to make good drawing strokes. Helps you. Right? And then pick 4. And then when you get to the edges, like here, just reduce the brush. And then you have a smaller brush. Yeah, this really helps you in the drawing strokes. Then there's pencil drawings. Absolute beginners, those of you who want to go through learning some of the techniques. Remember, this is not, don't focus too much on the app. It's not the way it was developed. It was developed to teach you fundamental art. This is like going to an art class and you're paying for an art class. So take full advantage of it while you can, because it's not going to be free for all, for all eternity. So you're lucky you're in this group of people who are following me and appreciating what I have to offer. So take full advantage of it, because art is something that will stay with you forever. And even if you may not take it up as a career, it brings enormous benefits from the social chit chat. Stop giving your time away to Facebook and all these nonsense one way communication where you consume information. Try and take time off and paint and draw. This is will give you a much better frame of mind. You can continue to make Facebook richer than what it is, but I'm just saying that you can get encroached in trivial chat, and all these trivial chat that just takes away the essence of deep understanding and deep learning. Anyway, so just want to tell you that people are into chit chat. Don't know, but if you have some time on your hands, instead of trying to chit chat, start a conversation, do take time out of your own and start drawing like I'm going to show you. So let's go ahead and pick the draw button and then go to trace. And you can load any of these images. See, got this image in the trace mode on my phone here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna stick to the line brush, because that's worked quite well for you guys to appreciate. So we got this brush size. So I've just shown you earlier how you can change this brush. But now you're thinking, well, we've got to look at this background. It's black. So how are we going to change that? Very easy. What we do, the color picker works by picking colors from the as long as this cursor is on the top half, it can pick any of these colors. Like, for example, color picker, this one. So you can see it's black. The color is exactly black. And then what we do is here, you can see here it's saying background color. So what we do is we're going to undo that. And then while this is not crossed, select that. And then it's saying, do you want the canvas color to be black? And then we say yes. There it is. It's black now, isn't it? So we got a black canvas color in case you didn't know how to create the background color. Now, typically when we have a white background, which is by default, we would use a black. So we don't want to use the black. We want to go all the way. Sorry, I want to save that. This is for my developer. Okay. So I'm always improving the app. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, so that was something I did here. So we got a black canvas, and now we're gonna have a white. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do an outline. So let's take a number. Let's go halfway. We don't have to, just as long as we can see the horse, because we're not going to use the color picker at all. Okay, so first thing you want to do is, let's see, that's way too big, isn't it? Let's try and do line drawing first. That's really helpful for you guys to become good, maybe a little bit less. Okay, we're going to do the, going to get you comfortable with this line drawing. Okay, I'm going to take it down again, 1%. Okay, there. In fact, I'm going to undo it, take it up one notch. Okay, so we're going to do this. First of all, we're going to do line drawing. And this one, show you. And this is really good. Don't worry if you're scribbling. Because you're scribbling, you know what you're going to do? The very first thing as a beginner, you're going to go and ask for the thing for the tools, autocorrection, to autocorrect this squiggly mark. This will be your first biggest mistake you're going to make. And when you select the auto, and then this one, you want to have a smooth curve. That's it. You are now defining how your art's going to always appear digital, no matter what you do, because it's going to look too perfect. It's not done by a human. So you decide if you want to go on the path of digital, but that's why my artwork is never, it's always mistaken for done with. So now, this is a line drawing we're going to do. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, just the line drawing. I'm going to do the head. And then I'm going to, I probably need a break. My daughter's going to the museum trip, so it's leaving early. So I'm going to have a couple of minutes break, but I just want you to do this exactly how I've done it here. Don't think this is too difficult. If you think because you're used to all the other digital tools, yeah, I'll show you. See that? How quickly that was done. So give me a couple of minutes break and I'll be back. Hello there. Welcome back. So we're going to continue with this drawing of the horse, and we start from the line brush. So I showed you how to set the background canvas color black. Very easy, but you have to do this at the beginning of each drawing. You can't change it afterwards. And then I went straight ahead and started. So I selected a white, because we've got a black background, we needed a white brush, so I selected the white and then I set it to 1.32%. So I'm going to continue drawing the horse, okay? And all these tone marks. Yeah, you can see here. Can you see a tone? Just follow that. Can you see the tone here? Just make these marks. Okay. And as I've told you earlier, the reason why all digital art looks like digital is because when beginners start using drawing, you'll see all the apps have an autocorrection. Paintology does not, and for very, very good reason. Because once you've selected autocorrection, believe me, all your artwork is going to look digitally created. Whereas my artwork looks nothing like digital. It looks done by hand. And that's the way it should be. So I'm not too bothered if it's squiggly like this, because my final artwork is an example of what you can do with our digital tools, the extensive use of digital tools. Okay, so avoid the... I'm not saying, but you've got no choice, because I don't offer the sort of corrections on this. If you do decide to go through autocorrection, you're now embarking on digital art that looks so much like digital art. See, this is all done by hand. Let's see what we have here. Wonderful, isn't it? So much better when you do it by hand. Because what you're doing is, when you do it by hand, you're improving your drawing strokes. And then when you want to do a shape, instead of rushing to a tool to do the shapes, look at his bellies. Horses eat a lot, don't they? It's like the cow, right? They're practically done there, aren't they? Look at that. Wonderful, isn't it? That could be a drawing by itself that you could be proud of, right? That was done freehand. No, and that's what you should aim for, freehand. Not just dive into tools. We've got a few more things we can do. Right, there, can you see that? These are tones. And then here as well. Can you see the tones? Just laying down the tones. Oh, look at that, wonderful. So let's save that. Okay, and now, actually, let's save as a line horse. You can label it. Okay, so what do we do next? Well, we got this power of this thing here. Oh, wonderful, isn't it? Such a beautiful... now we got these tones. Now we can get really into the idea of tones. So how are we going to pick the tones? Well, most of you who've been doing this will now Look, you can see here, right? Let's look at this horse's head. There is, I'm going to increase the brush here, and then I'm going to pick two different tones. So remember, to pick the tones of the image, reference image, your cursor needs to be in the top half. So select color picker, and that's the tone of the forehead. Now, can you imagine what this tone is going to be? Very dark. Not very dark, but dark. Look at that difference. Yeah, can you see it? Look at the tonal variation there. And now we can either do this, pick the tones with these colors, and let's do that. It's a bit like pointillism. That's where pointillism comes from. So it's an art movement form. So let's pick that. Let's pick this. Let's keep on picking along the lines, using the lines as a boundary. And then let's just keep going down this. Okay. Okay. So we picked, let's pick this, and then right next to it, so you don't leave any gap between that. Okay. Try to avoid any gaps. Just enough spacing. And let's just keep going down. So yeah, try doing everything different so you can appreciate color picker. So what that means is that when I pick the color picker, it's picking a darker tone or the tone that directly sits below where I rest my finger. Yeah. Okay. And then I keep doing that. That's nothing difficult, really, is it? You can surely do that. If you can use a phone, you can surely do that. So it's getting a little narrower around there, so we might have to change the brush. But let me show you the color palette. Look at these gradient of tones. Now you can fully appreciate what tones are. Believe me, it was very elusive for when in traditional, because they can't tell you much, tones and values. All they can do is show pictures, and then by the time they've gone into values, it's gone over your head, isn't it? I didn't really understand what values were. I understood what tones were, and in particular with grayscale tones, but I didn't understand what they meant by values. Well, yeah, in my opinion, the values are packed into the tones anyway. So right here you can see all the tones we have selected. Remember, we've made quite a few dots here, and it goes all the way down here. I don't know, maybe we put down like 30, 40 marks. So all the tones, this is just a small collection of the most recent tones. Look at them. They also vary so much. That's what adds to the realism of image. And if you understand tones, you're well on your way to becoming a good artist. And I understand tones because I can see the difference very well, having done enough drawings to appreciate that. So I'm going to carry on doing it that way. Nope, that's too big. So I'm going to do the head first. I'm going to go through doing the head. And you're going to see that as I'm approaching the head, I showed you the two tones, and I told you that the tones are getting light. They're light at the forehead of this horse, much lighter than towards the neck, isn't it? we're just going to do the forehead, yeah? Don't worry if it's not exactly aligned to the edge. Surely you can do this, right? I mean, it's just difficult. If you can't do this, then you've got a taboo against drawing or something. Anyone can do this. You have to, if you're having difficulty, you've got to tell me why. Because I'm thinking you can lift up a pencil, can you? And then position it. So we're going to go down as far as the lines will allow us, all the way to his forehead. And I can see the tones shifting as we get close. I can automatically see it. And that's the reason why I'm very good at pencil drawing. And I can apply these tones without the aid of color picker and do freehand drawing with photorealism, right? Just like the apples I showed you. It's because my degree of understanding of the tonal variations and the tools I use is actually a lot better than most people because I've been practicing. They said you'll learn to, if you practice with the tutorials I've shown you, you learn all these skills much more rapidly. Okay. Color picker, color picker, color picker. Let's see what we got here. So we got color palette. Look at that. You can see how the tones have shifted all the way to a lighter tone on the forehead, just like we had predicted was going to happen. You have to start looking at reference image in terms of tones. Okay, now let's look at the actual drawing. Look at that. How wonderfully we've captured the light tones and dark tones. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue and let's do something slightly different, right? We can see, I'm going to break this down into more tonal regions. I'm going to show you what tones are, and this is probably the best lesson in tones that you'll ever have. Now I can see that there are tonal variations going on here, 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 here. So let's mark these so we can, I'm going to show you. Let's take it down to, let's mark these. So you can see here, I'm going to keep it, I can see a tone here, and then I can see a tone here, and then a tone there. So I'm dividing this tone here. Can you see, just make out my line, and then I can see a tone here, and I can see a tone there, and you may be thinking, how the hell does he recognize these tones? You've got to understand that's the reason why I'm good at. So I'm dividing these. You can see a tone even there. There's lots of infinite tones. So I'm going to divide this anywhere where I can see tones happening here. Now I can see the tones here, tones here, tones there, tones here. Okay, I'm just dividing the tones. Okay, where else can we see tone? Tone here. Do you see where it's almost close to the line that we Down there. Let's go here. Let's zoom in, and then you'll see better. See how you see more of the tonal variations? Yeah, as you zoom in. Tones there. There. Can you see the tones here? I can see a tone here. So closer to where the features become more detailed, like the face, the tonal variation changes. I'm not doing a line drawing, so I'm trying to get the tones. Right, there, can you see it? And then if you want to zoom in even more, look, we're at 550%. And I can tell you, I've seen tones here, tones here, really. And then I can see a white, black and white density tones there. I can see a tone here. This is getting really close to the eye, and I'm paying more attention to the eye. Tones. Can you see the tones there? Okay, this is training in tones. There, tones. Can you see a tone there? Look at that tone. Same tone. I'm picking the same tones. This will have to improve your appreciation of tones. And see that tones? Ignore the ones where we did this. That's tones going all the way around here. And then look, tones of the hair, right? And then tones of the hair. And then see that the line that I used automatically encapsulated this tone, but there are fine tones going on at a lower, higher resolution. Let's go all the way down here. Can you see a tone here? There, that comes up there. Right, tones. Yeah, that's getting close to the white tones. Oh, look at that. Let's get to the nose. Right, there. Tones. Yeah, and there's a tone there. Tones. All these little nuances of tones. And there's a darker tone. You may not see that, but my acute drawing experience allows me. So that's the tones we've got. All these tones, yeah? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do something very interesting. Let's pick up that 5-point thing brush and see if that's, oops, see if that's actually a good size. Yep. So that's a good size. So now we've encapsulated the actual tones here. You see that tone? Let's pick the tones, keep that color, and let's just draw it. And put down this tones, yeah? Now we've got this one, so let's go right in the middle of that region, pick that tone, and then just draw it, okay? Don't worry about anything else. Alright, now we've got another tones. Let's see. Okay, we've got the same tone, so let's pick one here, and then just draw that tone, yeah? And follow. It's like paint by numbers, but block coloring is not constrained by this. Block coloring is way more superior. It's more powerful than paint by numbers. This might remind you of paint by numbers, but it's not. It's just a small artifact of what block coloring is. So we know this tone is similar because we sort of picked it up and just pick it out again, okay? And we know this one is similar. This is something you can do because paint by numbers has really helped a lot of people. In fact, I have to thank paint by numbers for bringing back the love of painting and drawing, because that's what really was the catalyst that I needed. If you look at this closely, right, now I'm going to introduce you to block code. Look at that. There's so many tones going on here. You'd think that this was one tone. I can tell you that if I pick the color picker here near to this region, that tone is different to this one. And I'll show you. And then it's also different to this one. And then it's different to this one. So I'm picking a color picker within the region now. And you're going to think, wow, he really does have a acute awareness of tones. Look at that. It went dark, light, and then dark. And this is the tones we've got. See that? That's the power of block coloring. It goes well beyond just paint by numbers. Okay, I'm gonna pick that again. There. And then the same thing here. I'm gonna pick the color picker here, pick the color picker again, color picker, and then we're getting such variations in tones even at this color picker. This is really what block coloring is. Yeah. See? Now we've got variations of the tones within the tone region we picked. Okay? This is essentially what tones are, okay? Even these two have a variation of tone. Do you see it? So subtle. Yep, you got it. Here, there, and then here, a bit different tone. Here, different. That's the reason why, because I can appreciate this, the reason why I can make photorealistic drawing with ease. Let's keep doing that. Pick the color picker towards the edge, and then pick another one. There. Now you've added tones. So let's actually reduce it a little bit. Okay, so tones, so tones, right? Pick up the tones here, and then pick out another adjacent tone, and then you know they will be slightly separated by tonal gradients, yeah? So tonal gradients is something which artists would not talk about because they got no way to demonstrate it like I have. You know, because the digital is easy. So I'm picking up the tones. So notice I start from the edge. And you think these tones are the same. Look at that. There's very subtle variations going on here. Okay? That's the whole idea is that, oops. That's because I haven't got in the middle. Okay. So that's really it there. Just go along the line and then pick the color picker for this tone standing here. Look how it's gone down. It's black now, darker. Look at that. You can tell this is way darker. Look at the variation. It's just in that region. Right? Amazing, isn't it? Here, again, pick that, then pick a tone there. And look at the variations of tones. Yeah, this is fundamental understanding of tones. I've just shown you, and this would cost you $200 to learn this. I've just offered you a free course in tones. That will cost you $200 by any teacher. No, actually, it'll take them longer. Probably $500 to teach you this whole thing. But now you understand it. Okay, you can see here, look at these minuscule tones there, right? As you zoom in, but we haven't got time to do that. We're just picking the most primary colors on that, okay? Let's see what we got. The tone is working. Yeah, of course it's working. You can't see all of it just yet, but let's carry on, yeah? Let's just carry on the way we're doing. You can use this. In fact, let's do the bigger brush. Pick the color tone in that region, in that area. And I'm just going to go very quickly. Okay. In fact, we've run out of time for part one. I was going way beyond what I wanted to. So I just want to show you. This is a tonal. This is a beautiful drawing to show tonal variations going on in this. I got carried away, look, in this. And then that's the whole idea, how I'm able to draw so impressively and does not look like digital at all. If anyone can tell whether it's digital, please come back to me and tell me what the nuances of my digital drawing is that gives it away that it's digital. You just can't, because I'm doing it by hand, just like traditional. All right, so hopefully you've enjoyed this, and we'll continue on part two. We'll probably take a 5-minute break and just overstep the 10 GMT, giving you time to get your things together for part two of this drawing, and then you should be able to get this from Paintology.com. I don't think I have a description on the Paintology.com page, and then click the button step by step, and then go down, and then there's the link part two. So I don't believe I have it in the description, so you should be able to get it from there. So I'll see you shortly. Thank you for watching. Bye.